Now, despite the record industry being at a difficult juncture, there's never been a more triumphant time for British pop music. Tonight, the Brit Wards will crown the kings and queens of music making it commercially. I was backstage earlier and met the band Mumford Sons. Fresh from winning a Grammy, tonight they made #1 in the American charts and they've been nominated for 3 Brits. Putting the final touches on the giant reflector here, the Brit Wards, on top of what can only be described as a supersized red carpet. In a couple of hours from now, this place will be heaving with fans, with groupies, with paparazzi, and of course, with the stars. Some big American stars this year. Rihanna will be here, Taylor Swift. I've even heard rumors of Beyoncé turning up. But the story in the music industry this year is actually the British invasion of America. Now, I know that sounds like a bit of a cliche, but it's true. I mean, remember the Grammys just a few weeks ago? It was Adele, London born and bred, who handed the award, which is Album of the Year, at the Grammys, to Mumford & Sons, that famous firm of solicitors from the UK that has taken America by storm.
Now in some way shake the excess, and I will wait for you.
Yeah, we always talk about the British invasion of America, but you did it the kind of slow way, didn't you? You started from the bottom up. I mean, you played in some incredibly stellar locations like Bristol, Illinois, or Bristol, Virginia, Dixon, Illinois.
I mean, we've been doing it from the start. The first sort of really interesting tour we did was in the Highlands of Scotland. And we actually had such fun doing it, it's become a sort of recurrent thing. We've done it a few times now. But it's funny how bands sort of fall into the trappings of just going to the same places. And there's these circuits that you do, and it's like, it's not as fun as like really getting out there and finding places that bands go to less often.
How do you describe your identity? Because people are intrigued by that. I mean, you're urban, you're Londoners, you're public school educated, but you have this sort of, country music. How does all that, how do you define that?
It's quite a natural thing. I mean, the age we live in now, people, we're lucky enough to have the internet and all these things, and you have access to basically all of the music that's ever been made. I think as creative people, as musicians these days, it's quite a privileged time to be creative because you can draw influence from so many different places. And I think growing up, American culture features in most people's musical identity.
I think we're kind of getting lumped into some bigger things that might be happening.
You mean you didn't go to a focus group?
No, we didn't. No.
Come on.
Should have done. No.
So, okay, what about the poshness then? So all 4 of you, and you too as well, of course, went to private school, to public school.
Yeah.
And, I think it was Billy Bragg who said that the British charts are congested with posh boys who were public school educated. What do you say to that?
I don't know, if we become accountants or bankers, then maybe our education would be relevant to what we do, but somehow being a musician is something that I was, before I even went to a decent school.
But you're saying that your dream career would have been to be an accountant or a tax consultant?
No.
but seriously, I mean, it is said, it is discussed, that it's easier to get into your kind of industry if you come from a private school these days, just because you have the space to be creative, than if you don't. Is that true?
I think we're massively lucky. Like, I'm sure you know what we're talking about. Like, we're very fortunate to have been given opportunities, and we didn't waste them. We went and worked really hard with the opportunities we were given as kids. But there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's strange to chastise people for being brought up well.
So my mother-in-law, and I won't reveal her age, really likes your music, and my daughter, one of my daughters, really likes your music, and they're quite far apart on the age spectrum. One of the daughters. Exactly. You picked that one up. So you appeal to all ages. That's quite rare, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, it's been funny. Like, we actually just started out as a pub band, and had quite a specific demographic where we would go and tour around, playing to pretty much 18 to 21-year-olds in pubs on Friday nights, and then it has grown both directions.
It's the best thing though, especially like these stopover shows we've been doing, our own little festivals. You look out there and it's like sometimes 3 generations, which is amazing.
You've won the Grammys, a huge deal. Good luck tonight. Where do you go from here? Surely it can only go down.
But it's quite nice to have done this stuff. Like, it's not any, this is all a bit of a circus, It's something that we never really anticipated being involved in, or, didn't really desire to be involved in it. But it's great to be here. It's an exciting night. But having done it all, I think we all quite look forward to it being out the way. and then we can focus on the stuff that we actually...
Early retirement somewhere, you know.
Well, no, I think just making more records and writing more songs.
Mumford and his sons will stay together?
Well, it seems to be going that way, yeah.
Okay, I must have, you know, it's the most attractive solicitors firm I've ever come across. So, anyway.